It was out of this world. I was just like, how do they not have of course, they don't have them because it's in Crested Butte, but. There was a way to call them and say, hey, you guys need to go to that restaurant,
Oh, got that.
Yukihana.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta go, it's amazing.
Oh, actually, the 4.9 started.
It should be five. With a Michelin star.
It's like.
That's the review that I gave them.
Not really, oh my, there's 175 reviews. Just on Google. That's cool, okay.
Yeah. It's 6:03. August 19th, 2026. This is Georgetown Planning Commission. Can I get a roll call?
Jake Cooper,
Present.
Kathy Hayes, Shane Henry, Christian Dixon, Chris Sanford,
Here.
Natasha Jackson,
Here.
Marvin Lauren.
Here.
Has everybody read the agenda?
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I would recommend that you add the acceptance of the resignation of Catherine Hayes. What's that?
I'm gonna amend or make a motion to amend the agenda to accept the resignation of Shane Henry and Kathleen Huff. Do I have a second?
I said them.
All in favor?
I guess.
All opposed? Motion saved. The motion passes. Thanks, Keisha. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I motion to approve the agenda as written.
Well,
Or any of
you
the-
guys just did a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay,
To amend it.
Yeah,
Oh, so if you make a motion to amend it, you don't have to make another motion to approve the minute. Okay, so
yeah, you're approving the agenda as,
as amended.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
got it.
so, and I have a first for Jake and a second for Natasha. And just for the record, Christian Dixon is also present.
Do we have any audience business?
There are no members of the community in attendance online.
Okay, moving on. Minutes approval for July 15th, 2026. Is everybody? That's gonna be the second page in backup.
I second.
Let's make the motion.
Susan.
A motion to approve the agenda from Wednesday, July 15th, 2026.
I second.
You would make the motions.
Oh, I have one. Motion to approve the minutes from July 16th, 2026.
I second.
A second. I can second, right? Or you can too.
Yeah. All
Oh,
in
you
favor?
can second. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
did you
yes.
second?
Yes.
Okay.
All in
Sorry,
favor?
yeah, second. Aye.
Motion passes. The action item is the proposed addition of recreational rentals as permitted use. As a permitted use in gateway commercial. And. We'll start with that. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, and Mike Davenport is present on Zoom. Mike, go ahead.
Good evening. This is Mike Davenport with Community Matters Institute as the planning consultant to the town of Georgetown. As you may recall, earlier this summer, Planning Commission recommended to the Board of
Mike,
Selectmen.
hold on. We
Yes.
can hardly hear you. Can you get closer to your microphone?
Okay, I'm closer. Can you hear me?
You got that was louder than those.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
Maybe just speak a little more slowly, Mike, and a little more clearly.
Okay, I will do that. As you probably recall, earlier this summer, Planning Commission recommended to the Board of Selectmen to add recreational rentals as a special use in the historic commercial zone district. At its last meeting, the Board of Selectmen decided to add it as a permitted use in the historic commercial zone district. And the reason they did this was to help promote business and economic development of the town. And again, as you probably recall, the difference between a special use and a permitted use is that a special use requires a hearing because in order to check and see if there are any impacts that would cause a concern. Also, the Board of Selectmen adopted the definition which you had recommended. So this memo is essentially very similar to the memo you saw on the special use and the historic commercial use, but now we are looking at the gateway commercial use district. As I mentioned, the definition has already been adopted, but it's repeated in the memo for your convenience. I've also identified or described the different types of uses that are allowed in zone districts, and also checking the different maps and plans of the town. The two, as was the case in your previous hearing on the historic commercial zone district, the comprehensive plan of the town has several provisions that support doing this, including protecting the historic character of the community, and helping to diversify the economy, encourage development to attract visitors, and recognizing that the local economy is heavily based upon both tourism, recreational tourism, as well as heritage tourism, for people who are interested in the history of the community. In the memo, you have as attachments a list of the existing uses in the zone district, both the permitted uses, which are also referred to often as uses by right, and you have a list of the special uses that are allowed in the district or that are allowed in any district in Georgetown. And so based upon the fact that the proposed change is consistent with the comprehensive plan, the Community Matters Institute is recommending your recommendation of approval to the Board of Selectmen. And so there is an attached memo, there's an attached recommended motion in the memo, and in addition to the uses that are listed, there also is at the very end of this memo a map of the Gateway Commercial Zone District if you need to be able to see the boundaries of the district. And that is the staff report.
Thanks.
Does anyone have any questions about the difference between a special use and a permitted use?
So, I think, Keisha was telling me earlier that, last time when we voted on a special use permit for the historic district, correct?
You
Yes, the
voted
historic commercial district.
You voted to allow a special use.
And it was changed by the board of selectmen to a use by right or a,
Permitted use.
permitted use, same thing. So this is just evening the playing field for the rest of Georgetown.
Yeah. That's how I think.
So if y'all are all good with it, on page 3, there is a recommended motion.
Yeah, I move to recommend the addition of the recreational rentals as a permitted use in the Gateway Commercial Zone District.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Christian seconded. Do all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Good evening.
Same to you. Next on the action items is the excessive absenteeism policy discussion and recommendation to remove members in violation. There is a page, the very thing. I think, this already took care of itself.
Yes, and I will also note that Chris's presence here today puts him at 60% attendance, so.
So, I don't think anything needs to be talked about other than I just would want to say that we would expect attendance, and if you're not gonna be here, an excused absence, ahead of time would be nice. Cause we do need a quorum, and right now we have 5 members.
Exactly.
Hopefully we can get those seats filled pretty quickly.
Is there something we should put on like agenda for next week, or is it something we can talk about now as far as like new members that we need?
So the town will put up a flyer on the bulletin board in the library, or sorry, in the post office and outside of the building here. And where else?
Online,
Online, so, and then as members, y'all can reach out to people that y'all think would be great, assets to the board in the town. And say, hey, can you put in a letter of intent, and they'll be interviewed at the next meeting.
We need somebody from Ward.
We have to have somebody from Ward 1, the next seat, the other seat can be from any ward. But we have to have a seat from Ward 1.
but you can recruit whoever, because even if they can't fill that Ward 1 seat,
Yeah.
it would be an alternate, so.
Okay.
What's the street cutoff?
Um,
9th Street until Taos, and then east of Taos is 10th Street.
yeah, and Ward 1 does this little weird thing where it zigzags over,
9th and 10th
yeah.
at Taos, so. This side of 9th Street, everybody, and then on the east side of Taos, it goes all the way to 10th. Does that make sense?
So. And then. Do we have anything else to talk about on that, action item? Does the comprehensive plan, Asia had this packet for us? And she's got some stuff to talk to us about. Yes.
So we are still working on some contract negotiations with DOLA for the grant that they're providing to us. That won't be a problem, it's just not quite signed yet, so.
Is DOLA the folks we met with last week?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, Todd is our DOLA
I
representative.
do wanna go over that meeting with you guys before the meeting, or if we can do it after the meeting, and I want Kasia to I want y'all to get the packets if you don't have them. And Kasia run over that a little bit with you guys. Okay.
So once that is finalized for DOLA, we can post, this is a draft request for proposal, just so you guys have an idea of how we obtain contractors for this sort of thing, so we have to post what's called an RFP, a request for proposal, on certain formal, websites, there's a schedule, and we'll probably recruit some people as well to submit bids to us, and that will be approved by the board of selectmen. You guys won't necessarily see that, but since the planning commission is important for the comprehensive plan, I just wanted you guys to see that this is the proposed RFP right now, and I will go on that soon, so.
Good.
There's a couple of things in there that the state requires, such as the housing action plan and the water needs assessment that we're actually doing separately, so we'll take those out of this. But they're in there just so you kind of have an idea of like the comprehensive requirements for our master plan. They just will be conducted separately because Haley Aldrich, who's been doing our water assessment, already has completed most of the water assessment plan, and the Clear Creek Regional Housing Authority is doing a regional housing action plan, so those will cover our requirements for the comprehensive plan. So those elements will not be included in the actual comprehensive plan. Does that make sense?
What did the water assessment say?
They said that basically they're recommending a pressurization. So right now, our pressure is gravity based. We have a big tank that's on the other side of the highway. There's a bunch of water in that pressurizes our system. What that does though is it makes it very sensitive, like we are having to balance it very carefully because we just have this one point that's pressurizing the system. So what happens is that people uphill have
On this side.
weak water pressure and the people downhill have really high water pressure. And we can't really change that, because if we change it, it'll make one side or the other worse. And we also have a bunch of water that's just sitting there basically that we can't use because it's being used to pressurize the system. So what they are proposing is that we install pumps in Midtown basically that can pressurize uphill and downhill separately to make it a little easier to get higher water pressure uphill, lower water pressure downhill. In the middle, it'll stay about the same. And that was the project that the board approved in our last budget cycle and we're currently working on already, so.
Will that change the overall water pressure?
Yes,
Cause I
yes.
have great water pressure, I don't want it to go down.
Well, you're in the middle of town, so yours will be about the same.
Okay.
Yeah, because the people uphill will have higher water because theirs is weaker right now.
Yeah, I know.
Right on the edge of acceptable.
I know that the water pressure on this side of town isn't that great.
Yeah, so, the problem is if we increase the pressure in the water tank and make it better for people uphill, it will make it crazy down.
Yeah.
So, that sort of delicacy is hard to manage with the gravity system, but will be easier to manage with the pump system. And will increase our capacity for developments and things like that as well, because right now we're right on the edge of our capacity for water system, and if we add a lot more taps, it's gonna really stretch our system very thin, but the pressurization will give us a greater capacity for things like development. So the gateway in particular is really in need of some substantial development. It's pretty bad looking down there. There's a lot of vacant spaces, there's a lot of underutilized spaces, there's a couple spaces that are like the crazy worst, which is violating by a lot of
Yeah.
code. you know, with their trash piles and things like that, so. We as a town, per our comprehensive plan that's in place right now, and the master plan are seeking development down in that area, so. We need better water pressure for that.
Is the water tank up on Seventh or Second Street still in use?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a storage tank though, I think. I
Right,
don't think that was a
not,
pressure tank.
right,
I don't think, don't quote me on that.
I just didn't know if we were.
It's still.
still using.
Yep.
Anything else on this comprehensive plan?
Nope.
Can you give everybody a brief synopsis on what they went over on this that meeting we had last week?
Yeah, so we had a boarding commission training, that Morgan and Jake both attended, we did not record it, but you all have the packet, the slides that I provided to you.
It was a really great meeting, by the way. Wish I would have been there.
They talked about some basic like ethics and code of conduct for commissioners. We talked a lot about conflicts of interest. Was working a little bit. They were going through the beginning of this, so. Rules and responsibilities, a lot of stuff that most of you have attended a training with Jerry, so it's a refresher on some of that stuff. So,
He went a lot more in depth though than Jerry ever did, and I've sat through Jerry's stuff a few times. And he was very informative and he answered a lot of great questions.
yeah,
And his information's in the back too, so.
Todd Leopold is great. He also, I think. Addresses the political reality of your position, you know, Jerry really gets into the legality of things, like this is legal, this is not legal. Todd Leopold in this presentation addressed more of the like, can you do it? Technically, yes. Should you do it because it looks bad? No, you know. So there's a difference there, and you know, just reminding the commission about the quasi judicial nature of this board, ex parte contact, which is when applicants might try to come talk to you about something that you're gonna review at the meeting, which you should not be doing. Same thing with fellow board members, like you shouldn't be discussing applications outside of this space, so. Because this, you know, all applications should be part of the public record. That's why the ex parte contact is not allowed, because all conversations about it should be held in the public record, so. Conflicts of interest, you know, Jerry defines conflict of interest as. Does this, do you have a conflict because this might impact you or someone in your household? Financially, yeah, yes, which is a pretty cut and dry definition. Todd Leopold expands that a little bit, like if they're your really close friends, like you might wanna consider stepping back from that because of public perception.
Yeah.
Now, we live in a very, very small town. We know pretty much everyone that comes and sits in front of us, so that's a fine line to walk, and sometimes you do have to just say like, well, this doesn't impact me financially. But if you fear that it might be something that people are not happy with you about, then you can step back from it.
Can I interject for a second?
Mhm.
If you ever, you know, like, if you have a question and you're not sure, just ask the town or the town attorney, but go to the town first. It's just, they can, if there is a conflict of interest, they'll be able to say. And and if they don't know, they'll contact the attorney, and at that point, the attorney will say yes or no,
Right.
and you know, you're covered.
So, you know, we've had instances where like, contractors have applicants in front of them that was on a project that they were working on and then maybe stepped off for some reason, and it's, you know, maybe there's bad blood, maybe they were really good friends, I don't know, but there's gray areas for sure, so there are some instances where we would encourage you to recuse yourself even if you don't legally have to. Yeah, so for the most part, if you have questions, it's always safe to ask staff, it's not always safe to ask each other or an applicant, basically never, so. Unless it's here. So there's some scenarios that you can go through that, address some of these scenario, like situations that you might run into that can help navigate that. It goes through the Colorado Governmental Immunity Act, you know, as the government, we are protected from a lot of things because can you imagine how many lawsuits would happen if people could sue us for everything? It would be literally impossible to govern, so. So, yeah, it goes through like what you are immune from and also what you are liable for, so like. You as commission members, we, the town collectively, you guys can get us in trouble by saying the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing, so we encourage you to be professional with people and remember a lot of those rules. From like basic HR stuff, you know, if you can't do it at work, we should consider this sort of the same space, so. It goes through some tools for meetings and how to conduct yourself in a meeting, how to deal with maybe board members who talk all the time, and, you know, it advises the chair on how to manage, like, soliciting opinions from people who maybe don't naturally speak up, you know, to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. And to be respectful, you know, sometimes you might disagree with people in these meetings, and that's perfectly okay to have those discussions, but to keep it respectful between you and your colleagues. All of you are volunteers, you know, everyone is here because they care about the town, so it's important to treat each other with respect, so.
I encourage y'all to go sit through a board of selectmen meeting just once. And see how that board is run and see how they interact with each other. You'll learn a lot. I'm serious, it'll help you with this, with this board. Just the learning process, because they're just, everybody here is a lot newer. They've been doing it a lot longer, and you'll pick up a lot of things from it.
Wow, how often do they have their meetings?
Twice a month on Tuesday nights, first or the second and last, fourth Tuesday of the month.
Second.
Yep, 6 p.m. And you don't have to sit through the whole meeting, you can go sit there for an hour and just watch what they're doing.
Where do they have them?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have one next Tuesday if you're interested in getting it.
It's the learning, it's just, it's good for you to just come in and learn.
Yeah.
And see what the town's doing too, and you can also watch it online.
Oh. So, yeah.
There's a
Sometimes
webinar.
it's hard with the kiddos, but yeah.
I'm sure Kasia will probably send it to you.
I can, you also, you know, it might be particularly interesting for you to watch the next one because the first reading for the ordinance change for the recreational rentals for the gateway, which you guys you are making your recommendation to the board right now. So that will be on the next agenda, so you can attend and see their discussion about it. I don't expect it will be a particularly long one, but you know, it's interesting to see for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Robert's Rules of Order, those are a long held, long established conduct rules basically for meeting. We largely don't follow Robert's Rules of Order. We do to an extent, but they're very, very, very strict about like who is allowed to talk, when you're allowed to talk. If you watch like congressional hearings, they're using Robert's Rules of Order, you know, so they'll say things like, I cede my time, so you have like a fixed amount of time, and you're only allowed to say things, so. We're much more casual in Georgetown, we're not like enforcing these rules really heavily, but we do encourage you to like know them, you know, and especially. For motions and voting, and then also like sometimes the public will come in and talk to us, and. Again, it's very casual, like we typically allow members of the public to participate in the discussion to an extent, but sometimes like you have to be like, listen, you're not on the board, I'm sorry. You're part of the audience, you need to sit quietly while the board discusses this, you know, which. Most people don't ever come to this commission, but like Business Promotion Commission has a lot of attendance usually. And
Really?
yeah, and those business owners have things to say about what the commission is doing, and so sometimes it's like. You know, we want you to participate when it's appropriate, but then you need to stop and let us talk, you know, so otherwise the discussion just keeps going further. And that's also, you know, Jake's job as the chair to like, if the discussion is continuing and. It's done, you know, or everyone's made their point and it's getting repetitive, Jake can be like, okay, like. Does anyone have any new points, or the discussion is finished or whatever, and keep the conversation moving, you know?
Or if it's going off topic,
or if it's going off top, yeah. You know, I had a design review commission meeting the other day where we were really stuck on like one topic for a very long time. And we needed to like move on from it. But we have a new chair on that commission as well, so
Who's the new chair?
Bob Hamilton.
Oh,
We
really?
have co-chairs in the DRC, it's not the chair and vice chair like we do some commissions, and then you guys don't have a vice chair, you just have a chair.
Cindy still on?
Yes, Cindy hasn't been the chair for as long as I've been there.
Oh, okay.
Joan Eaton was the chair for
That's
like
right.
23 years, which is crazy. And then she was co-chair with Mark Reynolds, who's still the co-chair, but Bob Hamilton has taken over for Joan, so. But anyway, you know, he could have moved that conversation on a lot sooner, so. Decision making, hurdles and mistakes, social media. Oh, also like Morgan, I should send this to you, but all of you have copies of the code of conduct the Board of Selectmen passed last year as well, so. That addresses some public interaction and social media and things like that as well. So that's separate from this presentation, but it is an adopted code of conduct for all boards and commissions that the Board of Selectmen passed last year, so. Morgan, I will send that to you.
Thank you.
Where's that where's that code of conduct? I mean, I'm not on social media anymore, so.
I can email it to you again as well, too. You should have it too.
Yeah, I think it was sent last year. I have like a folder in my email that I put all the planning commission stuff in, so.
Yeah, that was like October, November of last year,
Yeah.
so it's been a while since we went over it.
Oh, wait, I remember getting that. It's come through, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then final thoughts, you know, you don't need to know everything, use the resources available, take part in trainings when we offer them. Governing is complicated, take your time to make good decisions, ask a lot of questions, you know, come to staff if you need something and. You know, there are lots of opportunities for you guys to. Like really sit with things, you know, so if you feel uncomfortable, or you feel unsure, like ask, read, talk, you know. Even if you think it's a stupid question, someone probably has the same question, so. Especially your commission, land use is complicated, you know, it's not an easy thing to just walk into and have a pretty good idea of unless you like. Do land use in some capacity, which most people do not, so. Yes, and then there's a board commission health assessment tool that I'm not sure if we're going to be engaging with entirely, but. Jake, if you want to, I don't know, Dennis might have everybody do it, I'm not sure yet, so.
Wait till we, have a full board again,
Fill it,
and we've gone through a few meetings.
thank you for letting me steal your packet.
No fault. Do I have a motion to accept the resignations of Shane Henry and Kathleen Hutt? Somebody just has to make. a motion.
yeah, I motion to accept the resignations, Shane Henry and Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
a second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Do we have anything else?
We had not accepted the resignation.
We did. That's too late, we already did.
There's a. Yeah, it's funny because at the last board of selectmen meeting. We had resigned.
Somebody resigned from the board of selectmen?
No. Parks, there was a couple of people who resigned from the Parks Commission.
Oh, I heard about that.
And they were like, can we not? And Jerry was like. You know, our commissioners are not in indentured servitude, like the acceptance is purely ceremonial. Once they've resigned, it's they're off, you know,
I
you
did-
guys can't stop that,
I
so.
did tell Kenji, I was like, can we make Shane stay?
Just like go to his house for I can hear.
Right.
Come on, you're coming with me. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second. All in favor?